Yeah, the little test I'm going to do here is just um, maybe selected skills, or it's got to be something descriptive about um, skill cards. We'll maybe go with that, skill cards. And we're going to push something on here. Just whatever the first skill is, I think it's attack. We're just going to keep pushing that on. You know what, maybe we'll just have a little variable here. I don't know if this will work, but we'll try. Counter, we'll make it equal 12. Let's make it counter, and then we'll say counter plus plus. So every turn, all we're doing is adding to this skill cards an extra skill, an extra skill, an extra skill. And then we just need to show it. So this make item list here, we don't want skills, we want skill cards. So maybe this will work, maybe it won't, but I'm hoping we should have just one skill. Oh, cannot read probably. Push of undefined. That's fine. So it's this here. This doesn't exist yet, so it doesn't know it's going to be an array, so it can't push into this because it's nothing. So we just need to go to the actor and initialize something. So let's find, is it game actor? So probably want to catch the init members, because here it initializes all of this stuff to just blank data, just nothing. And then in setup is where you actually do something specific. So you have create the actor ID, but it's nothing. And then here you actually set it. So at the moment we don't have any default data. So we will just use the initialize part. And we're going to alias this again. So skill card battle system game actor init members equals game actor prototype init members. There is nothing again, no parameters. So we're just going to do oh, call the function init members, pass in this for context, and then we're going to set our own thing, which is going to be skill cards equals empty array. Just the same way that we do with things here. Not this one. This is creating an object. This is creating an array. So let's see if that's sort of the problem. Okay, we've got dual attack. Now, I really need to put in a skip here because it's becoming a problem. So it's going to be here. We'll need to put in maybe we'll just try adding our own completely own command here. And we'll pop this in here and we'll say skip command menu for the skip command. Or maybe pass. That's maybe better. Pass command menu text. Update the values here. So it's pass command menu text, and it's just going to be pass, and it is enabled. And this is the command window here. So we got to add our own. Say when they click pass, we will do something. Command pass. And I'm not actually too sure how we just skip a turn. We need a new function anyway for command pass. Let's see what it does when it does command attack. Did I miss it? Inputting action. Okay, so we're getting the action from whatever this is. So this is whatever the actor is choosing. And then we are setting the action to something and then saying when we select an action, move on. Maybe just select next command. I don't know if we can get away with just passing the turn like this, or if we do actually need to set the action to something. Let's see. Hey, maybe that's fine. Let's see if it throws an error though. No, great. We've created a pass pretty quickly. It was a lot easier than I thought it'd be. So now we should have two abilities, maybe a three now. There we go. So let's see what's in here. Double attack. Oh, I would have thought it would have been double. Oh, it adds one. It adds one for every actor doing it. So that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's why they all have wildly different skills than I thought they would. But they have got 3 skills. Next turn they will all have 4. So it is successfully setting the skills. It's just not doing the right thing at the moment, which we didn't code it to, so that's fine. Yeah, here, oh no, here it is doing what we want it to. It's counting up and adding something new to this skill cards array. So now all we need to do is actually come up with a logic for choosing the skills and dumping it in there. So we don't need a counter. So how many skills? We're gonna have to create a number parameter here. Default number of skills chosen per turn. So a very long name, but it's descriptive. It's going to be a number of skills an actor can choose from each turn. Default. We'll say 3. Just, I don't think that's what I would settle for, but it'd be a good test. So here we're going to say default number of skills chosen per turn. And here it's, yeah, I guess just put 3. And we're going to wrap this in a number function, or maybe it's a cast. I'm not sure if this is a function or a cast. And that just says whatever we get with this, make sure it's a number. If it's not a number, if it's a piece of text, it will be undefined or some kind of error here, or NaN, not a number, it might be. But yeah, the reason why we do this is because this parameter will return as a string or a piece of text, even though we've told it's a number. That I think that's just for RPG Maker's sake. So here we do need to say, keep in mind this is a number, use it like a number. And so where we decided to overwrite or initialize some actor data, we can also make that a parameter. We won't say default. This is just number of skill cards chosen per turn. We'll just change that. Let's make it skill cards chosen per turn. Number of skill cards. So we have this default. I think I've just realized anytime I use the note tags in a plugin, I don't think I've been adding it to here to show people how to actually use the script. So that might be a good excuse for having the help at the top here. Um, yeah, how best to format this? Actor note tag, just say the number of skill cards the actor can choose from each turn. The actor can choose from X number of skills. So yeah, I think I'm gonna put this. So if the default is what, 3, we'll say read can get 5, and this will just be a way of showing that you can change it. Make it, but then we will also say in the setup we want to change this. And technically I think I've done this wrong anyway by adding in a value here. It works, but it's probably wrong. It's the actor setup is really where you want to be doing that, just to keep the code clean. Game actor setup equals game actor prototype.setup. Now this takes in a parameter. So what we need to do is call the function for the setup, pass in this for context, and then pass in the parameter after it. So we want to run all this first, and then we do whatever we want. So I'm going to take this, pop it in there, and just say 0 because we're initializing this here. And then we will see if is there. Yeah, it's using this, so maybe we should use this as well. We will grab the data actor this way, and then say if actor.meta dot whatever this thing was, number of skill cards chosen per turn. You know what? Let's just spit out the actor meta before we try and use it. Okay, so if actor.meta.that, if that exists, then we just want to update this to that value. And maybe a cleaner way of doing that is to just say number of skill cards chosen per turn equals the metadata, and then you just check the variable rather than the full thing twice. I don't think it's too bad doing this, but yeah, I don't know. If this was like a function and you were using the function to get some data, it's best to grab the actual value from the function rather than running the function multiple times. But like I say, I think this is just a variable, so it's probably not that bad just repeating this line. But I'll do it this way. So what does that leave us with? We've got some way of having different numbers of skills now. I would like to expand on this after, but we'll get something working first and then we'll go back to it. Add plugin command, change the number of that's per turn an actor can get. Alright, we've added skip, that can come out. Allow renaming, that's done. Okay, so now we have a number. We can do a for loop, and we're looping for number of skill cards chosen per turn. So if it's the default, then it will loop through 3 times and do something. So we want to do something and then eventually push a skill into here. So we'll say actor skill array equals actor dot skills. I think that works. You know what? Make sure that's out of the loop. We don't want to do that over and over. So first of all, we grab an array of all the skills, and this code will be changing afterwards when we add the B option, but this is just to get it working. Make an array of skills, and then we will get a random number, which I'm not too sure in JavaScript of doing that. So let's see. Can you generate some code to get a random number between X and Y in JavaScript, please? All right, so minimum, so X here is going to be 0. The minimum is always going to be 0 because we're looking through the indices of an array. So the smallest number is 0, and the highest number is going to be this array's length. And I hope this is exclusive. Yep, exclusive. Good stuff. If this was inclusive, it means that the length is included in the numbers it can reach, which is not what you want, because if the array has 4 things in it, the length will be 4, but the highest index will be 3. 0, 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, this bit of code seems weird, but yeah, if it gives us back a random number between min and max, then great. No, this is not skill ID, this is skill index. And then we will grab a skill which is going to be the skill array, and then whatever the skill index is, we're going to push the skill into there. But then we need to filter this array. Say S for the skill that's inside the array. Skill is not equal to the skill that we returned. So that we're essentially saying only put skills back into this array if it's not the one that we've just picked. So yeah, what we're doing there is we're pulling a skill out of the array and then saying, let's do this another 2 times. Because we don't want to get the same skill over and over again. So we take it out of the array and then we move on. So I think this might be working. Although we need to put in a catch here that says maybe the array isn't big enough. So we will just put in a little safety check here and say if the skill, if the actor skill array dot length less than or equal to 0, then I guess break out. Normally I would do like continue, which means just continue on with the next integer or the next index, sorry. But we don't want it to continue at all. If there's nothing left in the array, there's nothing to do. We've got nothing to put into this array, so we just break out. And also this will just continue adding to the skill cards array. So not only do we want to add to it, we also want to reset it at the start. So this says, make sure nothing is in this array to begin with, and then push however many skills into the array, and it will only run this once per turn. That's not what I expected. I was thinking 3 to begin with, but he does have the 5 tag, I think. So does he only have 4 skills? That's the next question. No. So why is he getting 4? Right, so I've said to do it till 3. Is that the cap? So if it's given me 4 when I said 5 and it's given me 2 when I said 3, so it sounds like the logic is just a bit wrong here. Ah yeah, loop while this is less than. So once this becomes equal to that, so if this is 3, it will say, oh stop, don't do the code, we've reached the cap. So this should be less than or equal to. You know what? No, that's wrong. That's wrong because it starts at 0 and then goes 0, 1, 2, and then hits the 3. So that's completely wrong. It's maybe the code here. Let's do a couple of logs. We'll get the actor skill array before we start manipulating it. And then we'll spit out each skill that we decide to add into here. And then at the end, we will spit out the array of what is left. And hopefully that'll give us a better idea of what's going on. So it starts off with 6 abilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's right. Gives us 2 undefines. Oh, line 139. 2 undefines. Okay, well that probably means this piece of code might be junky. Let's also console log the skill index. Two, three, four, two.